Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tool Stack Audit. My name is Tara Elzingre. Delighted to have you here today for the second part of the Tech Control series. These are weekly 30-minute webinars. They're going to be nice, short, and sweet in order to help, I suppose, just give you something to potentially do today and just hopefully action on this straight away as well. We're looking at the Tools Stack Audit. Really looking forward to sharing this with you. I'm going to drop a link into the chat there as well, just with the tool audit that you can use while we're going through this session or even afterwards as well. Today's a nice and simple one, but I do think it is one of the most important ones that we could potentially be doing today, because this is where you could potentially look at what your tool stack is looking like right now and where you could be potentially saving some time and money on some duplications. I'd really love if you have an opportunity as well to put it into the chat what tools you're using, and we could work through some of the features, etc., to see if there's anywhere that we could save you time and money as well. So if you do have any questions, please do put it into the chat. So for those who don't know, my name is Tara Elzingre. I'm an AI strategist and digital tool trainer. I'm a qualified purple person. That means I take my business acumen and tech know-how and help to translate that to help you understand the world of AI that we're in now, and learn a little bit more about the different automations and features of tools that you could potentially be using in your own business. I've delivered training for over 2,000 people this year, and my one-to-one clients see results within 30 days. Now, again, just to kind of speak a little bit about why we're here today, 50% of subscriptions business owners buy are sitting idle, and that means that there's potentiality for you to look at where you could be saving some cost and money with it as well. Today, as I did already in the chat, shared the tool audit. I will also be putting this into the follow-up with the recording of this video as well, so that you can look at it afterwards. And this, again, is just something, and actually use ChatGPT to create this. If you haven't used the agent feature, it's really worth checking out. If you have any questions about that, please do ask me. But it basically created that tool audit in over 8 minutes. Really easy to use. But this is going to help you today in order to go through with these slides as well. Everything we're going through today is also in that guide. So nearly half of the digital tools small business owners are sitting idle, draining budgets without delivering results. Most owners don't even realize they're paying for duplicate apps or forgotten trials. And in the background, all those scattered logins, shadow tools are just costly. They're also opening the doors for security risks that could keep you in hot water with GDPR. Now, on the 24th of September, we are going to be doing an AI security tech webinar. It is the next one of the series. We're taking a break next week because I'm away in London, and that is also a really important one to go to. But this is basically going to just align up with the 3 steps to cut costs. So it's going to allow us to see if we're going to keep it, ditch it, or potentially get something else to replace it, or look at the different features within it as well. So where does waste tonnage within your business? Definitely duplicate tools are one of the most important ones that you could potentially be losing out on money. And this is something like one of my clients recently told me that she's using Google Drive, OneDrive, as well as Dropbox for her different clients. And it's a very common one, and I'm sure there's potentiality that you're paying for 3 different LLMs looking for the feature because you've purchased Google Workspace and you don't know that some of the Gemini features are available to you, and you're potentially paying for a ChatGPT as well. But it could be the same then for OneDrive, Google Drive, as well as Dropbox. Maybe you're paying for all of those different features instead of just looking at the one platform. So having it think about the different duplicate tools you might be using within your business that could be potentially doing the same jobs, but also looking at the features. And tools like Canva, again, are always adding in different apps so that you could potentially be using free apps for the same feature that you are paying for in a different tool. So consider where you might be actually worth looking in. And again, for those who may have joined in late, I don't know if you can see in the chat the tool audit that I have dropped in. So please do let me know if you can see that, and I'll drop it in again. And this is a really good place for you to just write down all the tools. When you see all your tools listed, you'll really start to realize that maybe there are 2 or 3 tools that you are paying for that actually would do the same job. But it's also, once you have that audit done, you can also drop that Excel file into ChatGPT or any other LLM and ask, perfect, thank you for letting me know. I will put that into the chat there again. So there it is again now. So you can actually just use ChatGPT if you want as a very quick way, or any other LLM. Put in your audit and say, are there duplicate tools? Is there a place that I could be saving money on it? This is potentially one of the not the safest ways, but definitely one of the easiest ways to look at your different tool stack and see if there's duplications, if you're not quite sure yourself, and it could potentially recommend the features in one tool that you prefer, that you're using a bit more often. The other part then is obviously trials going to paid ghosts. This is a very common thing to happen as well. There's a lot of free trials happening, and when we're getting bombarded on social media and everywhere else for recommendations on definitely cool features that you can use with generative AI, etc., we might actually look at signing up for those 7-day free trials and completely forget to ghost them. I completely forget to unsubscribe from them. So when you put down the list there again, see if there is different tools that you may have subscribed for, but that you're not actually using, that maybe you've used once or 2 times, or somebody that works with you has potentially used and you've never actually used that feature again. So worth looking at it, going into even your app stores on your phone and seeing if there's any subscriptions there that are hiding and lingering that you're paying for but not actually using. And then again, risky OAuth apps are where you potentially use your Google sign-in or Microsoft sign-in to check out and to test some of these subscriptions, and not even aware of where you're potentially leaving yourself exposed with GDPR. Again, we'll get into this more in the AI security tech tool room webinar happening on the 24th of September. But it is worth just looking, and again, when you have that list, you could even again download that list onto Excel and download it onto ChatGPT on an Excel format, and ask ChatGPT, am I leaving myself exposed to potential risks here? The 6-step audit, again, it's broken down into each page there on the audit in the Excel file that is in the group chat there as well. But let's just go through these again, kind of one by one. And I am really flying through this. I would really love if you do have a moment to share with me some of the tools that you could potentially be using, and if you have any questions on the different tools and what you might be able to use them for. I already mentioned Canva. It has an entire app store on it where you can connect apps into it. The likes of ChatGPT now as well, where you can connect apps and maybe you don't need to potentially pay for different subscriptions. As well as, where are your CRMs stored? Where are on the back end of your website? Even considering different payment links and payment platforms, etc. Have you set it up because it was easier to set it up that way on your website? But in actuality, if you just do a little bit of digging, is there a better way to connect the apps so that you don't have multiple apps doing the same function? And saving, costing you money to do that as well. So list all the tools on that inventory sheet. It might take a bit of time to do it depending on how many apps you have. It is said that business owners flip between apps over 1,200 times in one day. This could be, between social media as well as content creation, your administration, your scheduling, etc. Opening up your emails, all of that adds up time during your day as well. And having it in one platform and having systems built up, which is one of the things that I'm really passionate about showing through the TEC Control Room, is how to set up these platforms for success for yourself. So, where are the potential gaps there when you're looking at that list in full? Now, if you have a team as well, it's also important to look at who owns each app. If you have maybe a virtual assistant, or if you're a solopreneur and you own everything, or maybe you have a small team who are potentially using the different apps. But having a look at seeing who needs access to what as well is really important and vital here, and where you could potentially need to, again, look at different security features features on those apps as well to protect your information and potentially your customer or client information as well. Now, looking again at the usage as well, another really important question here: what logins are you using, and what is the cost? What is the breakdown of the cost for yourself as well? So are you using this app as often as you think you are, or is it something that felt like a nice to have or a need to have at one point, but in actuality you're working away without it and you don't really need to use it all that often? Some of them are business critical but may only be used once in a quarter, so it's really important for you to think about the actual business case for it, and actually see if it is something that is worthwhile, or can you streamline it. And again, if you look at the likes of Microsoft versus Google versus Apple, you know, you would have a whole suite of different features there that maybe you're using them slightly different because of one customer, etc. But maybe what you can do is actually change your plans around in them. Maybe you set up a business plan with them, but in actuality all you need is a free plan because you're only using it for one customer, etc. So take a look at the usage for all of those as well. And then
he wants me to
sorry, now just making sure that everybody is on mute there. But if you do have any questions, please do throw it into the chat as well. So yeah, so that's just with the usage. Just have a look and have a think about what logins you're potentially using, where you may have some exposure there as well, and also looking at the cost and the different plans they may have as well. And if your business needs have potentially changed, do you actually need to be paying the cost that you're doing? Especially if you're duplicating in features as well. It's not just the tools. Maybe you're paying for 5 seats on Zoom, but only one person is actually using the Zoom. Do you actually need to pay for all your team if your other teammates are not actually jumping on a calls? Is this potentially an area where you could save money in your business? Looking again at those overlap, the duplications that you may have once you see that list. And for those who may have joined a little bit late as well, one thing that I recommended doing was to download that as a CSV file or Excel file, putting it into an LLM like ChatGPT and asking if there are any duplications with the tools that you're using and even the features as well. And then again, to kind of re-emphasize this, the security and the check compliance. Again, in the 24th of September, we will be looking at this a bit more. But if you can obviously ask if you can ask ChatGPT about the different security features, it would be absolutely amazing just to see where you could potentially be leaving yourself up for exposure, especially with the EU AI Act. There are certain industries that are going to be changed quite dramatically in the next few weeks as well, depending on the different regulations that are coming out there. So it could be worth keeping an eye on, and it is something that is constantly evolving. So what might be accurate today may not be accurate tomorrow. So it's worth just having this list and having a list of the tools that you're using and where you may be exposing too much data to the world of AI, as well as for your clients. So it's worth having that list, and I'll be talking you through a really cool tool to help with that as well on the 24th. And the 6th and last step is definitely to look at the dates and negotiate is spelled wrong there, but to negotiate what you may or may not need. If you have renewals coming up for the likes of Adobe that tend to take 1 year for their fee, and or other subscriptions that maybe you signed up annually, do you actually need it? Could you potentially go and talk to the sales team about getting something that's a bit more bespoke and a bit more on budget for you if there are only certain features that you are potentially paying for as well? So again, just to kind of point it out here, AI is changing fast. Features are becoming more and more available. I've already mentioned about ChatGPT having that agentic feature now, and if you haven't had a look at it, it's really worth checking out. Canva, as well as ChatGPT and a few others, they're really starting to integrate as much as they can. And the likes of Google Workspace as well are making it really, really easy for businesses to have streamlined tools all in the one place in the location. So it's not to say that one is better over the other. You definitely need to look at your own business user case and see where this may actually benefit you the best, and to streamline it and potentially look at downgrading some that are not as business important for it. So, and again, it's just about tracking what expenditure you are leaving yourself open for by having certain licenses, etc. in it? And are there other things that you may need to add in to your policies and procedures because you're purchasing these tools as well to handle some of your business sensitive information? And again, integration beats duplication. If you can use one tool but in two different locations by integrating it either on the system or using external apps like Zapier, this could potentially help to streamline things a bit better. I mentioned before about using the likes of Stripe, maybe with your website, but maybe you use something else when you're doing markets, etc. On the sideline. Is there a way to potentially move those platforms altogether by looking at the different features that these tools involve? So on the Excel file again, what you will see is a scoring system to help you to understand what you need to keep, what you might need to review, and what you might need to ditch. So I'm just suggesting these 5 different areas and scoring them from 1 to 6 to see how you might want to consider your tools and what you might need to ditch. Even if you do this audit list, as I said today, and make a plan for yourself for the next month to move all those tools, because while the audit in itself will not take a long time, actually assessing those tools and moving the data around, moving the logins around, etc., will take a bigger plan. So it is something that you definitely don't want to try and manage all in one day. Some of them are going to be easier than others, but make a bit of a plan for yourself over the next 30 days to really clear up your tool stack. So while this is going to potentially help you to see where that roadmap is, and especially considering the different timelines you might have for subscriptions, etc., take into consideration those subscription timelines and where you might need to move things faster, or you can put some certain things on the long arm. And I'd be really curious to hear if you managed to do all of this, what kind of savings you came up with, including time as well as money saving. So if you do get a chance, please do definitely tell me how you get on with this. I'd really love to know. So again, those 5 areas that we're looking at are the criteria. Is this something that is business essential? Is it something that's a business nice to have? Or is it something that potentially you started using because it looked cool online, or somebody recommended it to you, but actually you're not really using it all that much? What is the business value for you? Is it increasing the productivity? Is it increasing revenue within your business as well? Is it saving you that time and money that you anticipated? Or is it something that really isn't working out after all of that? The adoption, usage, again, the likes of ChatGPT, some people have taken to shining of it. Others are not using it as much, and maybe are not using all the features in it. So how are you and your team potentially using it? Again, I use Zoom as another one where you potentially have 5 seats, or maybe you're paying for a team on Canva, but actually it's only one person who's creating all the graphics on it. So what usage is actually happening overall for it? So while the criteria and the business value might be quite high, maybe the adoption or the usage is quite low. Cost per active user, and then any overlap as well. So once you have looked at all 5 of these and assessed your tools based on these, you will have, so 6 is the highest, I use it all the time, or it meets my requirements. Could be just a yes or a no, but score each of them between 6 and 1 to make you help you decide whether or not you want to keep it, review it, or ditch it. So these are the 3 steps that you really want to look at, and that's where you're going to build out that longer roadmap on where you're going to keep your tool stack, and where it's going to potentially evolve over time for yourself as well. If you need any help or support with this, please do reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk about it. And if you need any recommendations for different tools or different features as well, I'm always happy to give my recommendations on that as well. So to talk about it briefly, because it is something that is really important, and I think over the past few years we've all been very guilty of just accepting terms and conditions. But now that we're looking at agentic AI, where agents are potentially taking over more autonomy in certain different tools that we're potentially using on a daily basis, it's really important to look at the compliance and your risk, considering each and every one of the tools that you're using. And again, we will get more deeply into this, but just as an overview, while you're doing the tech stack audit, it is really important to look at this as well. So it is something that is worth mentioning today. So do you have a data processing agreement in place with each and every one of the tools? Are you very clear on your own website or in your own policy agreements that what tools you're potentially using, and disclosing anything that you may need to disclose, and make it available on your website? Is the data resistancy clear? So what I mean by this are there are certain tools that are using the likes of ChatGPT in the background. They have third-party agreements with these LLMs, where if you are typing in your information. So for instance, if you have a CRM and you're talking about your clients' information or data, they may be sharing it with that LLM to help train that LLM as well. Otter.ai recently got into trouble with this, where they were using people's notes and the meeting summaries and using that to train their model, but also unfortunately exposing people because they were sharing it with the likes of OpenAI as well. So what is the potential risk factor there with those different tools as well? And have you got the access under control? Do you have removing any idle accounts? What information do they need to share under GDPR? You can also request that information from each and every one of those tools if you want to see where your data may have come from. And GDPR basics, do you understand what your responsibility are as a business owner? This isn't just about scare tactics. It's not to, help make you spend hours doing it. As I mentioned, on the 24th, I will be walking you through a really cool AI compliance app that will help with this as well. But it could be very costly for you in the end if you're not paying attention to any of this, especially when we're using these tools and they are becoming more agentic and taking on some more autonomy as well. So we've gone through the framework. It's your turn. Think about your own tool stack and what's the first tool that pops into your mind as a waste of space. I'd love to hear it again in the chat if you're interested in putting it down there. I'd love to know how you get on, as I said, with the tool audit stack, what things really surprised you, what things have you been reflecting on and maybe considering to potentially change as well. As I said, if you do want to pop anything into the chat, would really love for you to just tell me what tools you're using and where I suppose the exposure might be for you, or things that you have considered reading since joining this webinar. To say as well that we do have our first workshop starting tomorrow. There are still a few places left. There is a 2-for-1 offer on the workshops at the moment, so you can actually subscribe to 2 different workshops for the price of €75, or if you and a friend want to join and just get it for the half price, that can also work as well. Just let me know with that. And I will have group coaching starting from the 30th of September. These are more hands-on. There are 2 one-to-one sessions as well as group coaching sessions where we're really looking at building out your systems for your business and that digital transformation aspect of it as well. Please do visit the Tara Elzingre consultancy website, and you will see all the past TEC Control Room webinars inside there as well, and all information about booking calls with me. Thank you so much for everybody who has joined here today. The TEC Control Room is for 12 weeks. Can you send a list of each session and how to book, please? Was really unclear on Eventbrite. Very sorry to hear that it was unclear on Eventbrite. There are 2 ways to book with it. Each one has its own individual link, or if you sign up using the master control one, you will get the link sent to you every week as well. So there are one of 2 ways, but if you do want to message me privately, I'm more than happy to show you there as well. But all the dates are available on Eventbrite. And as I said, you can either sign up for them all individually or just use that master link as well. Thank you so much for everybody for joining today, and thanks for all the beautiful messages in the chat as well. If you have any other questions, please do let me know. Really happy to chat with anybody as well at any stage. So that's it for now. If you have any other questions, let me know, and hopefully we'll see you on the 24th with the AI security. Take care. Thank you so much. Perfect, Claudia. If you do want to reach out to me, I'm more than happy to send you on the list of topics as well that are coming up.